One of the things that my clients get stuck with is how many different contracts they need to have. Do they need to have a different contract for each of their products and services? So in this video today, I'm going to be giving you all that you need to know on that topic. So you'll be pleased to know that you don't necessarily need a different contract for each of your products and services. However, in most instances, you are going to need a different document for each type of your products and services. Let me explain a little bit more what I mean by that. So if we talk about the two main formats of contractual document, the first I'm going to call an agreement. So that would be where you have a contractual document and you will create a new version of that document each time a client signs up with you. So you'll create a new version, it's going to have their name on, their address, and in many instances there'll be some kind of schedule setting out exactly what you do, and the expectation is, and there will be a space for them to sign that document, whether it's a physical signature or some kind of software that they can use to sign electronically. I'm going to call that an agreement. Then the other main type of contractual document is where you have a set of standard terms and conditions, and when someone is signing up for your products and services, and we're used to this all the time when we're buying things online, there's a box and you'll tick the box and it will say, typically, I confirm I have read, understood and agree to the terms and conditions. So I'm going to call those tick box terms and conditions. So you've got your agreement and you've got your tick box terms and conditions. So typically, if you have a product or service which is a higher end, a higher ticket product or service, now that could be one-to-one, so it could be some kind of one-to-one support or program, or it might be a high-end group situation, might be a mastermind, for example. But in that type of situation, the best type of contractual document often is that agreement, that type of document where you're going to create a new version each time someone signs up for your product or service. And that's because there's just a kind of element of respect in having a specific contract with your name on it. And also people are more likely to read that contract. And so if it's a higher ticket product or service, it's good to know that they've read the contract. So it's likely that for those higher ticket elements of your products and services, you're going to want an agreement, but it could well be that that one agreement will work for any number of different types of higher end product or service that you have. And the thing that will likely change is what you set out in the service description. And then if we take the other type of product or service people often have, it's a lower ticket element. Now that again could be one-to-one or it could be group. So it could be a taster or kind of discovery session, for example. It could be a low cost group program. It could be an online course. For all of those sorts of things where it's a lower ticket and just as a bit of an artificial cutoff point, I'd say kind of under £1,000 typically, then when someone signs up for that product or service, it's likely that you're going to want them to be able to sign up at any time. They're going to fill in a form online and then there'll be a box for them to tick and say they confirm they agree to your terms and conditions. Now again, in many instances, you can have one standard set of terms and conditions and that will apply to your lower priced products and services. So in my experience, most business owners need at least two documents. They need an agreement for the higher priced elements that they sell, and then they need tick box terms and conditions for the lower priced elements. So most business owners find having two different types of document is really helpful. Now, if you have a membership, for example, or some kind of recurring service where it auto renews, so if people sign up for a membership or some kind of subscription service and they sign up maybe for a month at a time, but it auto renews at the end of every month, or maybe they sign up for a quarter or a whole year and it auto renews at the end of that period of time, then I typically recommend that you have a different document for those subscription type services, because I know that can lead to hassle sometimes, that auto renewal element. So you want to be absolutely clear about all of that. So I typically like to have a different set of terms and conditions for those kinds of membership or subscription services, so you've got absolute clarity on that point. And then the other thing I would say is, if you also provide your services through a corporate, so say you've got a number of products and services and you deal directly with the person or the business that you're helping, you deal directly, if you're a coach, you're dealing directly with the coachee, that needs one type of document that has a certain kind of tone. But if you're providing your services through a corporate, maybe it's a charity, maybe it's some kind of educational establishment, a school or a university or a trust, then generally that will need a different type of document, because it's a different kind of tone where you're dealing with that corporate and saying the services that you're providing to the corporate, which may involve going in and helping individuals within that organisation. Just to summarise on the lowdown on this, in many instances you're going to need two different types of client contractual document: an agreement for your higher ticket items, and then tick box terms and conditions for your lower ticket items. And then if you've got a subscription type of service, that will typically need another type of document. And then if you provide services via a corporate, that's a different type of document as well. So in many instances, clients of mine will have 3 or 4 documents, but typically you'll need at least 2 if you've got a variety of products and services. There you go. Now, obviously that's not the kind of hard and fast rule for everyone, but that's the typical situation. If you have any questions following on from this, if you'd like any more help with this, then just get in touch and let me know.